on the name of the Lord shall be saved. May the Lord add his blessing to the reading of these holy words.
Thanks be to God. Thank you so much, Michael, for reading these long, long lessons, and especially congratulations of pronouncing all these names. Today is Pentecost, and as some of you know, I like to write and also to receive handwritten cards. And I promise to you, whenever you send a card to me, like in snail mail, like the old-fashioned ones with a stamp on it, I will not only open it, but I will look at the picture first, open it up, and read every single word. And then I will put your card right on my desk and look at it. And I have a collection of cards on my desk because I know that you wrote them to me, and I honor that. So I went to the store the other day, and I wanted to buy cards for Pentecost. You know, you buy cards for Christmas and cards for Easter. So Pentecost is the third important holiday in the Christian year. So I thought, how difficult can it be? There are many cards out for Christmas. There are many cards out there for Easter. So I just go. So I went to the store, went right over to the rack, and looked. I didn't see any. So I went to the clerk and said, "Excuse me, please, I'm looking for cards for Pentecost." "Excuse me, what? You know, the birthday of the church?" "Yeah, we have birthday cards." "No, I don't mean birthday cards. I mean birthday cards for the church." "Well, I don't know. Never heard of it. So thank you very much." So I went to the second card store. And you might guess what happened. So why is it that for Pentecost we don't send out cards? Why is it that for Pentecost we don't have any traditions? I see a lot of people wear red today, and as you can see, red is the color for the day. But for Easter and for Christmas, we have traditions which are not necessarily biblical. Like I'm talking about the reindeers and the elves, or the Easter bunny. I have never seen any of that in the Bible. So what are the traditions for Pentecost? One tradition I grew up with was the Pentecost ox. Yes, you heard it, O-X. You know, in southern Germany is Bavaria, reaching onto the Alps. So you see the Alps, and Pentecost is the time when the top of the mountains have no snow anymore, or supposedly have no snow anymore. So on the Pentecost weekend, and Pentecost is Monday and Tuesday, because it's such an important holiday, the cattle are brought down from the stall, from the stables, through the villages, and up the mountain for the summer. And the biggest animal, the strongest animal, the ox, is decorated with bells and whistles and ribbons all over, and people are cheering and dancing, looking forward to what might come. In Westphalia, the area our partner church is located in, there are not so many mountains. There's a different tradition, but also the Pentecost ox. It's not the farmers who bring their cattle through the mountains, it's the butcher. And I know we have children here. Let me just say so. Yes, there are Pentecost ox going broad through the villages with a lot of hoo-ha and a lot of celebration and cheering. It's the last time the ox is ever seen alive. So a lot of celebration because everybody is looking forward to what's going to come. Thank you, Michael, for reading all these wonderful, difficult names. I'm always feel sorry for the lay reader who is reading on Pentecost, because it's a challenge, and thank you for mastering it. I believe the church, the original church, is one of the original places of non-discriminatory ideas. People from literally all over come to Jerusalem to celebrate and to worship God. People from all over, as you remember, Michael struggling with the names, which united in spirit, seeing each other as sisters and brothers in Christ. And the language is spoken, the language of love, of Christian love. 3 examples I want to show to you. Number 1, a couple of years ago, I was invited to visit the Holy Land, Israel. And I do not know if any of you have ever went there, but on top of the mountain, on top of the Mount Olive, is a beautiful old, everything is old. So it's a beautiful old church. I mean, when I say old, it's really, really old. And that church is called the Church of the Paternoster. Paternoster is Latin for our Father. These are the 2 words we just prayed of the Lord's Prayer. So in this church, in this really, really old church, it's part of a monastery. And as you go out of the church, in through the hallways, into this beautiful courtyard, you see long, huge tiles. I do not know how tall they were, but pretty tall. All white and beautiful ornaments all around. More than 140 of those tiles. And every tile has the Lord's Prayer in their own language. More than 140 languages. So it's not only English, French, and German and those European languages, but Sioux, Zulu, Burmese, and what other language do I remember? Gaelic. I mean, languages you would not necessarily think they were there. And when we were there with people literally all around the world, you saw the lights and the eyes of the people as, getting as big as dinner plates. Again, being like magnetized to their tile. And everybody was reading and praying the Lord's Prayer in their native language. This is a sound I will never forget. Because I knew exactly what everybody was praying in their own language, and I still get goosebumps when I think about it. People literally from all over the world. But you don't have to go to Jerusalem to find this. As you entered, you probably saw, and you pass it every Sunday when you come, a picture from our partnership in Schwelm. We are connected not only because of the visit, but due to COVID, we couldn't visit. But through the internet, thank goodness for that, we worship with one another. Our friends from Schwelm worship with us. Now it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They are watching our worship service. And I know that our German friends, with their broken English, trying to put something in the comment line. United in spirit. But we don't even have to go across the Atlantic. A year ago, our partnership with Advent UCC, just south of Easton, was not only formed, but even fostered, and we grew closer and closer. They all speak English. We worship in a different way, and we see each other as brothers and sisters. This Sunday before we closed down due to COVID, our confirmation class, together with the mentors, worshiped at Advent UCC. And Advent UCC is smaller than us, but they had screens like we just have here. And the confirmants said to their mentors, they're much smaller. How can they have screens and we don't? Looking forward to the new generation. And because of that comment, which made us think even more, maybe it is the time now to install some monitors. This is then, and this is now. We're not only celebrating the church universal, but we're also celebrating the church right here on 770 County Line Road, on the corner of County Line and Spring. Yesterday, 38 years ago, May 22nd, 1983, we had very faithful people. Why don't you just all come up? Faithful people then, 38 years ago, who decided we want to build a church here. And all of them are still very, very active in our church. So we have not only Carol and Tom Dennis, and Sue Miller, and Quentin and Jane Haynes, and of course Sherry and Ken Kish. Why don't you come up? Because of you, we are here. Because you had visions. You had dreams. So make sure that everybody sees you. Which is Thank you. And I want to give you a rose because it was Pentecost then, and it is Pentecost now. And we celebrate, and I know the Stoneworks are not here at the moment because they're on vacation. Please make sure that they get one as well. And it's because of these dedicated people who had a vision. We are here. We still have some of your traditions, like holding hands at the benediction. We still carry on your traditions. And because of you, we who came much, much later, I want to say thank you. And I want to so honor the dedication and the love and the tears and the joys you have had. I know it was not all rosy, so to speak. It wasn't, but you made it. And 38 years ago, you must have just been in kindergarten when you did this. How does 38 years look like? We have a couple here who happen to be 38 years old. Come on up. John and Sharon Cox together with going to be Big Brother Jackson. 38 years ago. I just would like to see the contrast. Comparison, I should say. John and Sharon and Jackson, you are very active, and I know the baby-to-be will be as well. Thank you. So you will get a rose as well, because this is how 38 years look like. So in here, we have a combination of not only the past, but also the present and the future. So thank you for carrying on the traditions. Thank you for being with us and now carrying on the visions and the dreams, and to say, yes, we honor what you have, but like even the screens we have, we want to see what is actually going to be for the younger generations. And I'm looking at you, Jackson, right now, because I know you are active here as well, together with all your friends. This is what Pentecost looks like. You honor the tradition, and you go on. You go on into looking always forward, never back. Always forward with one step already at the tomorrow, not knowing what it's going to be like, but we trust in a God who promises to be with us, not only then, but also now. And because today is the birthday of the church, I might not have found a card, but there's cake. There will be cake after the worship service outside on the yard to celebrate not only the 38 years, but also all what is going to come. All who were here and many, many more. Pentecost. I hope and I trust that maybe next year I can find some cards for Pentecost. And I know last year we made a card for Pentecost because it was the pandemic. Thank you so much, Michael and Debbie. It was fun spray painting on the lawn. Oh, yeah. But maybe we can sell it as a great, great card so that people realize what Pentecost is all about. So what happened way, way back in Jerusalem was not just a single incident. That was just the start, just like the one popcorn popping. And all over, here we are, trusting in the future which only God holds. So thank you so much. Thank you for your legacy, and thank you for us who can just be there, who have not dug out the wells, but we drink from it. We who just harvest all the grapes and all the vines because you have planted them. As we go forward, we ask for God's blessing. Thank you so much. Amen.